Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever and wherever you may be, welcome to the Daily Return 10 minutes. I invite you to arrive, which means consciously choosing to be here. So if you have pressed play or you're here for the live, I invite you to notice what is here for you now. Notice if there's resistance or if there is relief or something else. As you arrive and you notice what's happening here for you by checking in with how much distraction you have, with what your emotions are, with what's happening with your family, perhaps at this point in time, I invite you to think about why we return. We spend most of our lives living alongside our bodies, or rather our bodies are kind of just dragged along with our minds. Messages, intuition, instincts, physical messages are often unnoticed. And when we return, our goal is to invite that information to become relevant. And that's why we're here. How do we know when we're disconnected from ourselves? How do we know? And that is what we will focus on today. But let's begin by really dropping into this moment, by feeling the support beneath you. Notice the position that you are sitting in. Notice if there's any discomfort in your body. Pain, or tension or bracing. And just send awareness there. We got off to a little bit of a late start. So maybe noticing the time it is. And softening the back of your tongue, deepening your breath. And then notice what distractions are here for you right now. If any. And since we're talking today about how do we know when we are disconnected from our bodies, how do we know when we are disembodied? I invite you now to imagine, think of a time in the recent past or whenever, when you were consumed by something. Preferably not something that's too upsetting, but when you had an anger or a fear or a frustration and you could not attend to anything else. And track and notice what happens in your body when you begin to think about that time. What do you notice? What are the things you are remembering? Perhaps you might even be feeling remnants of it right now as you think of it. It could be as simple as being stuck in traffic. It could be as simple as having forgotten something, or it could be a relational situation. You might be thinking of more than one. I know I am. I keep thinking of different ones. Same feeling though, same experience. Just give you another 15, 20 seconds to really drop in to remember what the experience was like when you were consumed by an activation. And feel your feet on the floor and feel the support beneath you. And now I invite you to come to the present moment. Notice the space that you're in. You can do that with your eyes open and your eyes closed. And drop the back of your tongue. Soften your face. Notice your breath. Let in the sounds that you can hear right now. And track and notice what that's like. Maybe even if you need to make a movement, giving almost like a little shake off from remembering being so activated. And track and notice what happens when you do that. Can you arrive a little bit more into the present moment? Excellent. And just one more noticing of yourself in this moment in time. Excellent. You can deepen your breath. Return to open your eyes if they're not already open. Look around the space that you're in and slowly return to our togetherness. So, the reason we return is to notice when we are disconnected and to return. So today we were focusing on how do we know when we're disconnected? How do we know when we're Not sensing the wholeness or all of our experience where we're only thinking or feeling or acting on one thing. And that means everything else is kind of cut off. And today we talked about frustration and anger, frustration, or big activation can easily disconnect us from our beings. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. Sometimes that has to happen that way, but we want to be able to return. Sometimes it can be maladaptive, as they say. But the idea is for us to be paying attention more often to when we are connected and when we are not connected. So I invite you today to notice, when are you feeling or noticing that you might be really tunnel vision on something, and then you can't sense anything else around you? Thank you for being here. Thank you for returning. And remember, you exist. I'll see you soon.